Somerset improved their chances of moving to the knockout stages of the Vitality Blast after defeating Hampshire by 17 runs in Taunton with Jerome Taylor to the fore. In spite of Somerset slipping to 17 for 3, they still had to press on and make the most of the fielding restrictions. James Hildreth quickly put in the early difficulties behind him. Abel gone for 27 as Somerset got to the halfway stage of their innings with 85 runs on the board and 4 men back in the hutch. Corey Anderson was now in as the home team recovered superbly to bring up the 100 at the start of over number 12. The partnership between Anderson and Hildreth realised 60 runs in 6.5 overs, it ending when Anderson on 32 from 20 was caught by Riley Russo. It looked as if the hard work might be undone when Hildreth followed in the next over, the 17th, but instead it was now that the runs really started to flow. Gregory ignored what Wood had done before in getting to figures of 4 for 10 by smashing him for 3 successive boundaries. Then in the next over, Roelof van der Merwe struck Fidel Edwards for 3 more 4s from 3 legal balls. 6 successive legal deliveries had been creamed to the boundary boards as Somerset looked for the big finish. And it got even better. Edwards over, the 18th of the innings, cost 24 runs to home team, suddenly up to 177 for 6. Wood finished with the fantastic figures of 5 for 32, his 5th being the wicket of Gregory, whose 24 runs occupied only 9 balls. Van der Merwe hadn't quite finished yet though, and a couple more 4s off the final over saw him get to 31 from just 13 balls. Somerset absolutely delighted to finish their 20 overs on 196 for 7. The momentum was with them and stayed with them now in the field as Jamie Overton had Colin Munro taken behind by Davis for 5. The bowler then also removing Sam Northeast in his next over, Hildreth with the catch to reduce Hampshire to 25 for 2 at the start of the 5th. But Somerset would have been much the happier of the two teams by the end of the power play as Jerome Taylor made himself a local hero with 2 wickets in 2 balls. Hildreth was once again involved to get shot of Russo for a couple. Then next ball, Alsop gave Davis some more work with the gloves. The home team now well on their way, having reduced their visitors to 37 for 4 after 6 overs. Surely only Vince now standing in their way from going to the top of the South Group. Vince's second 6 took him to his 32-ball 50. The problem for him was that for the second half of the innings, the run rate required had got up to 13. So he needed some support, and he found that in the form of Dawson, who got his innings moving with this maximum. Vince went large again at the end of that over, delivered by Max Waller. Hampshire left to find 81 runs from the last 6 overs. Back on came Taylor, and the Jamaican grabbed his 3rd wicket from 5 balls, his 3rd being the big wicket of Vince. Overton holding on to remove him for a 74, which used up just 45 deliveries. But Hampshire were then 6 down as Joe Weatherly fell to Overton, Abel completing the dismissal, which had Dawson, importantly, back on strike. And to his 30th delivery, it was at his half-century. His 5th 4 to go along with his 3 6s, having the all-rounder raising his bat. He took the target down to 52 off 3. Dawson was determined to take the game down to the wire, 1 boundary following another, 3 off 3 balls for the very expensive Van der Merwe. Dawson was into the 70s with 37 now required from a dozen deliveries. And that became 24 off the last 6, Dawson's 4th maximum, having him into the 80s in double quick time. But Taylor now had the ball in his hands with figures of 3 for 9 from 3. Dawson had the strike, but in trying to keep it, he was run out by Waller. A brilliant knock of 82 made from 41 deliveries was at an end, and so was the contest. Taylor made certain with his 4th wicket next ball, Gregory with the catch to remove Stevenson. And the terrific Taylor then combined with Gregory again to see off Wood. The bowler ending with figures of 5 for 15 to take his team to a 17-run victory. Hampshire finished their innings on 181 for 9, a tremendous victory for Somerset, which now has them on 10 points with 5 wins from 8. They're next in action at home again to Essex Eagles on Friday.